it's Laura Eubanks of Design for Serenity with the Saturday edition of Miscellaneous Monday. There's a couple of things to do today, and rather than just run out here and do them, I thought I would take you guys along. So, we are post-rain, post-humidity. Temps are in the 70s now. Still a little bit humid, but not too bad, and I feel like homeostasis is nearing restoration. So I'm going to do a couple of things. I'm not going crazy out here messing with plants, but I'm going to do a couple things. And as I was walking with you guys out here when we were checking to be sure that nothing got too terribly damaged after our rain the other day, I realized that this area right here was really bugging me. It's too flat. Now, my idea or my thought process was Gordon bought me this beautiful baby aloe ramosissima, and I didn't want to cover it up. You know, I wanted to stage that in such a way that it would be showcased. It is young and it's got a lot of growing to do, and I just don't know that I have that kind of time. So I'm going to let it be an aloe ramosissima baby, but I'm going to get on with my life in the meantime. So that's what I have established. I'm going to take this aloe Dorothier that I brought from the Chula Vista garden. Tough plant. So even if it does rain or if it gets really hot or whatever, I am not worried about this girl. So I've got, as you can see, when I pulled it out of the garden in Chula Vista, it hadn't been in the ground for long. I had popped it in as a cutting whenever I popped it in as a cutting, and it had thrown off, a few little roots, but nothing major. So I'm going to trim these guys only because I don't want to dig a great big deep hole. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this plant and my multi-tool, and I'm just going to fiddle around around this top dressing, kick it out of the way a little bit. Gosh, it's pretty wet down there. Wow, yeah, from the rain. Remember, if your succulent stands up, you've done your job. So I've made a little cradle, pushed away the top dressing to expose a little bit of topsoil. And then I am just going to set her right on in that little hole, backfill with the top dressing rock. She's standing nicely, and I'm already liking this a lot better. So moving on with that idea, I'm going to go ahead and deadhead this aloe blue elf. This bloom is long gone. And when deadheading, just cut back, as far to the point of origin as you can. Very good. You can, trim up any little dead piece, leaves, or this is just basic grooming. Okay, this blue atoll, it's blooms fried, which is a little concerning to me because they hadn't really even opened up yet, but they're toasty. And I know this plant is sensitive to rot, so I'm going to keep a really, really close eye on it. Right now, it's fine. But I brought some of the Fred Ives. These are Chula Vista, more of the Chula Vista Fred Ives. And I'm going to go ahead and remove some of these yucky lower leaves. They just don't look great. Can you propagate with these leaves? You could, but I don't have the room or the patience for it. But you sure could. I'm just going to trim the dead off of that leaf. This is a little too leggy of a stem, so I'll trim that up a little bit. And same idea. I'm going to pop this girl or this guy in right here. Yeah, I really, really like that. I had also talked with you about moving this Agavoides as well. Not that there's anything wrong with it here, but it's needed elsewhere in the garden desperately. Okay. Knock off some of the soil. I just want to expose the roots of this plant as much as I can because I kind of want to tuck it in amongst some cousins and hope that in all of its fluffy glory, fluffy, healthy glory, it will inspire my poor, distressed transplants to buck up and recover. All right. And once I've got that out, then I can take another Fred Ives or two, got a couple, and pop them into the place where that agavoides was. And these will also offer a little more height, which is kind of what I'm after back here. There we go. Oh gosh. Yes, now what I have effectively done in this area, and it didn't even impact the Ramosissima one bit as far as taking away from it or covering it up, is I've just bought myself a full year's growth. I mean, as far aesthetically, as far as the eye, this looks at least a year older. And that's kind of what I'm after in this garden. You know, it's a baby garden, but I want it to have the vibe and the feeling that it's been here for a really long time. So as I can bring in beefier, bigger plants, I'm going to do it. Echeveria agavoides is a magnificent plant and tough as nails. And this is going to look amazing. It just doesn't right now. And it's just breaking my heart because this is a very, very focal part of my garden. And yet I don't want to remove these plants because I know, you know, this is just a little bit of cosmetic stress. They're going to be fine. And now I feel like the worst of the heat and all of the rain is behind us. I can manipulate a little bit. So what I'm going to do, take off my gloves so I can get in there. And I'm going to take this as an example. Let's see how all the black and yucky on there. And this feels great. And I'm just going to pull off all of those black underleaves that are toast. And just clean this thing up. Ugh, gosh, this is great. Now, I wouldn't have wanted to do this last week when it was so gosh darn hot. I think it just would have caused more problems for this plant. But now that everybody can relax, we can get back out in our gardens and start picking up our mantle and being the daddy again. Telling them what's up. Okay, see how that one fell off? No problem. There's some air roots on there, and look at how pretty that is. See? Let's just get to the goods, right? Let's get all of this yucky stuff off and out. And as you're cleaning, you're looking for bugs. You know, you're looking for evidence of problems of root rot or crown rot. I'm seeing no evidence of any of those things. And you're making decisions. Now this little stand has got, you know, a lot of cosmetic damage, doesn't it? A lot of burn on it. Look at that. But I am not here to discard. I think if I cram it all together really, really tight, oop, there's a weed. Remember my program, see a weed, pull a weed. If I cram them all really tight together, I think we're going to be just fine. So now I have this lovely pre-dug hole. Loosen this up a little bit. I'm going to pop these in first, kind of back into their spot, and then I'm going to take that nice one that I took out and put it right in front. Oh yeah, see, I think that's kind of what's needed here, is more for me to pack these in so they are more compact, because that's also the plant's natural growth pattern. It's very hen and chicky, meaning that it grows really, really close together. This one's really torched. See down inside all the new growth that's black? I don't know how I feel about, I'm not going to use this one because that's all got to grow out, and it means this is going to look bad for a long time. Now that doesn't mean you throw it away, but just put it over in the garden of last chances or somewhere out of sight until it has a chance to recover. And I'll take this pretty one that isn't damaged and pop it in its place. So it can go, push that top dressing back in, and just tuck this little cutie right in there. See there? Look at that. Oh my gosh. Yes, this is making me feel a lot better. This one also, there's too much yucky. So let's get rid of it. I'm going to have like an entire bucket full of detritus by the time I'm done just working on these agavoides. This is, one of the many, many things that I love about our succulents. There's, they just have such resilience. And, the way you can mess with them and manipulate them, propagate them, move them around, cut off their heads. Just, they are so patient with us. Now, this trunk, it's too big. It's unnecessary. See all those little air roots? The little white air roots? I don't know if you can see that or not, but trust me, there's a lot of roots up around the crown of this plant, so I don't need all of that. I'm going to cut a lot of that off. Yeah, super healthy tissue there. That's good news. But I want to bury, there's all those roots. And I really want to bury that ugly little piece of trunk. Soften this up a little bit. Pop that in right there. Oh yeah, much, much better. Now I will continue to work on these as needed. I'll be keeping my eyes open for pups when I'm working and just out and about. As I see available little plantlets that I could take a piece off of, I will when I'm at clients, when I'm doing maintenance, whatever, and I'll just kind of add to the herd. And I think what you're going to find is in just a couple of months' time, all of these concerns about the stand of agavoides will be just that, in the past, history, because this is going to fill out and just look really, really wonderful. This one right here, I don't know. I mean, I am not loving this, but I'm not quite ready to yank it out yet because the new inside growth doesn't look that bad. So I think I'm just going to take off a couple more of the burnt leaves off this one and let it ride here just a little longer. We'll see how it does. Okay. All right, that's feeling better. All right, on to the next order of business, which is to try to salvage the pups off of that blue atoll that we noticed yesterday was really rotting. Okay, so here is our poor sad mama that I noticed yesterday was in such bad shape. She's got babies, though, that haven't succumbed. Ew, oh God. It's so gross, you guys. The rotten stuff, it's just mushy. And this plant is literally just falling apart in my hands. So I'm going to go this way. Rather than trying to take it out of the ground, I'm going to expose the pups by just removing all of the dead tissue from the mother before I mess with them or take them out of the ground or do anything major. Ugh. The smell, indescribable, and not in a good way. Okay. Okay, now what I've done is I've exposed the babies, so now I can get a better idea of what I'm doing. All right, I don't want to leave them attached to this, because the idea is that if I leave them attached to this area of rot, that the rot will spread to the babies. So now I can see, though, where I can separate them. And sure enough, looky there, Greg, can you see this? Right there, how that stem is starting to turn black? It is on its way out. So I'm going to cut right above that black. There we go. Now these little atoll babies, I'm deciding. I think I'm gonna do a foster program with them. So we're gonna remove this as well. Yikes. And see here, I think this one's probably a goner. See all that black? It's already starting to work its way up to this baby. This one appears to be pretty good. Don't see any evidence of rot. So, okay, we got 3 young plants there. Let's go ahead and pull out this whole little root system. And the roots are actually fine. This was crown rot. Crown rot right here. When water goes down into the crown of the plant and sits there and causes the rot from the top down rather than from the roots up. Just as deadly. It's such a shame, but I'm going to throw that out. Okay, and now I'm going to take these babies, and because I'm confident the weather is going to continue, the temperature is going to continue to drop, and we're going to stay in the 70s. If that changes, you know, we'll make other arrangements. But I kind of want to keep these cute little babies next to a mom. So I'm just going to take and tuck these pieces in under her skirts. Right here, like this. The adoption is now complete. Okay, now let's take some of the chamois beige and cover that up. Cover up all the dirt, and you will just never know that I've even been here. Okay, and I'll keep an eye. But you know, that's the fun, being able to come out and just microdose in your garden, right? Just doing little things, working in little areas. It makes you feel so accomplished, like you've really done something, because you have. I haven't torn into my whole garden. I haven't spent all day out here. I've just done a few things, and I feel a lot better. It's almost like a punch list. And now I can check off 3 different things that were really concerning me as finished. So I hope this has inspired you to get out in your garden and just make some inroads. Just focus on an area, a small area, and do something. And then just come out every day and reap the rewards of your efforts. Thank you so much for following, commenting, liking, and subscribing. And for those of you that support the channel through the join button, a special thank you to you as well. This has been Laura Eubanks of Design for Serenity with Miscellaneous, your Saturday edition of Miscellaneous Monday. Bye, guys.